Well, hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video, and this could be my review of Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Now, Oppenheimer stars Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, so many people, and this is a story of J. Robert Oppenheimer and his development in the creation of the atomic bomb while also dealing with the ramifications of unleashing such a weapon of mass destruction into the world. Now, I'm just going to say this right here. Personally, Christopher Nolan is my favorite director of all time. I literally get excited every time he releases a new movie, and just seeing his name in the trailer is enough to give me chills. I did read a little bit about Oppenheimer before going to this movie, and I know about the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but for the most part, I'm literally walking into this movie blind about the history. Now let's talk about the acting. This is some of the best acting ensemble I've seen in a long time. Wow. Cillian Murphy, wow, this guy is giving one of the best performances of all time. There, I said it. Not only is he giving such a great performance, but director Christopher Nolan and cinematographer Hoyte van Hoytema, they're really using the IMAX camera to its full potential, not only to show these beautiful IMAX shots, but to really get in on Cillian's performance, to really get in on his emotions and how he's feeling. And you may or you may not know that this script was actually written in the first person, so it really makes sense that a lot of the scenes are showing like close-ups of Cillian's face, and you can see it through his eyes and his expressions, how he's feeling. And this is very important because this is a movie about this character, this man, this person, and you really get to feel every emotion he's feeling through Cillian's performance and also the filmmaking. Like most Christopher Nolan movies, they kind of like have like a big ensemble cast. But if I remember correctly, this is the first time since like Memento where we are focusing on one character throughout the entire movie. Like this is like through this person's journey, and instead of, Batman, it was still a focus on him, but you still had the Joker, you still had like Two-Face and a lot of other characters. But yeah, this one also has a lot of characters, but like mainly the main part is Oppenheimer. Like he is the main focus. Robert Downey Jr. is also another standout in this movie, and I can already see that Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. It's locked in there for sure. When people think about Oscar performances, they think about people that scream or act a lot, and in this movie nobody's really giving like a crazy crying scene or yelling scene or something. Everybody is just so in character and so into the script and the story, and you just really get lost in their performances. You don't even get to think that these are actors anymore. This is literally the character, and that's it. And Robert Downey Jr., Cillian Murphy, yes. And most of the scenes with Robert Downey Jr. are in black and white, which is the objective scenes. And then you have Cillian Murphy scenes, Oppenheimer, which are the subjective. Matt Damon is great. Florence Pugh is great, even though she's there just for a little bit. Emily Blunt doesn't have a lot to do in this movie, but from the scenes that she's in, she's really good. Like, really good. There are actually so many actors that are in this movie that aren't even in the trailers. Like, you're just sitting there watching the movie and you're like, oh, you're in this movie? Oh, you're also in this movie? Oh, you're also in this movie. I won't spoil the big surprise actors that are in this movie, but I will say that Devin Bostick, who you might remember who played Roderick in Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, is in this movie.
And then you're dead.
And just to see him just reminds me of my childhood, and it's cool to see him in a more dramatic role, even though he's barely in it, but it's really good to see him. On a technical standpoint, this movie is a masterpiece. From the beautiful cinematography from Hoyte van Hoytema, the beautiful score from Ludwig Göransson, and to think that there are no CGI shots in this movie at all blows my mind. No pun intended. Like throughout the movie, there are some visuals of like, atoms and, fire, and I don't know what they are, but yeah, those types of visuals, you might have seen them in the trailer. They pop out throughout the movie and during like exposition, scientific scenes, and they're really cool. And I'm just here wondering, how did they do this without CGI? Like I was just actually wondering, how did they do this practically? I'm very curious to see how they did those shots practically. Seriously. So basically, let me explain to you the structure of this movie without actually spoiling anything, even though this is based on a true story. But basically, the first two acts is mainly about Oppenheimer's life, the development of the atomic bomb, while also mixing it up with some Robert Downey Jr. scenes post World War. And throughout this whole time, there's like build up, there's tension. It's really, really fascinating. Like I was just so focused into the dialogue. I was like I was just like so into it, and it didn't bore me at all. And once you get to that Trinity test, wow, it's terrifying. It's really well done. You can feel the impact, the sound design, oh my god. Then you kind of feel like the movie's gonna end soon, but then you realize it doesn't, and it turns into something else. The third act is extremely dialogue heavy. Like, you know, it has all these testimony scenes, trial scenes, very political driven. Like, it's really a lot to take in. So honestly, I was really surprised to see where this movie was going, because I didn't expect it to kind of like keep going for another hour. Because I feel like that first 2 hours, it was like, oh, this is the end, but it just doesn't end. And this is not a flaw or anything. I just didn't expect that. But I would say that ending really, really paid off, and it just leaves you so speechless. Like, I was just staring at the screen, the credits, and I didn't even like look around me. I was just literally focusing into the credits, and I was in utter shock. Yeah, this movie just really makes you think about, you know, the world that we live in and how this could still happen. And it's scary, it's terrifying. Like, I saw this movie 2 days ago and I'm still thinking about it. Overall, Oppenheimer is another hit for Christopher Nolan, packed with beautiful cinematography, an amazing score, an amazing ensemble cast. But most of all, this is a very important film that everybody should at least watch once in their life. And with that, I'm gonna give Oppenheimer a 9 out of 10. I can tell that this movie's not gonna please everybody. I feel like this movie's more for Chris Nolan fans, cinephiles, or even history buffs. It's definitely not gonna please the average moviegoer, you know? I could have given this movie a 10. Like, I was honestly really close to actually giving this movie a 10. But my experience was kind of overwhelming because I actually did the Barbenheimer thing, you know, where you go see Barbie first, or you actually go see Barbie and Oppenheimer in the same day. I did that. Yeah, I survived Barbenheimer 2023. Yeah, I did that. And so I saw Barbie first. You know, that's like almost 2 hours. And then I took a break, a lunch break, and then went straight into Oppenheimer. And then I think, you know, after 2 hours of movie, 1 hour of break, and then 2 hours to Oppenheimer, I was kind of like starting to doze off. You know, the day was getting really long, especially just watching 2 movies in a theater. So that's why I said by the third act, I thought the movie was gonna like end soon, but it doesn't. It goes on for another hour, and it becomes another type of movie in a way, and nothing wrong with that. I just know that I definitely have to rewatch Oppenheimer when I'm fully wide awake and not running low on energy. So yeah, Barbenheimer, as fun as it was, and I'm proud that I survived Barbenheimer, I don't really recommend it. You know, go watch Barbie on another day and Oppenheimer on another day. Don't watch them both at the same time. It's a lot to digest. So what did you think of Oppenheimer? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.